Hello and welcome to the latest 20mm painting tutorial. Now this figure might look a little bit familiar. I did release an Adler Fallschirmjager unboxing video not too long ago, and I did promise that I'll do a painting tutorial using those figures. So what better way to start that than painting some plain smocks, which is something I haven't covered on this channel, so that's what we're going to do. Now if you're watching this figure spin around and you're thinking I want to get my hands on one of those, you can go to the Adler Miniatures website. You can scroll down to 20mm World War II and you can see they've got here Waffen SS Fallschirmjäger, British late war Marine Commandos, glider infantry and parachute infantry for the British, and you can see that there's a lots of goodness here, and they really are compatible alongside the likes of AB figures, and I would really recommend grabbing yourself some of these because they are lovely miniatures. Now to start off with, I'm going to give my miniature a primer of Tamiya Surface Primer Light Grey, just a rattle can, just give it a good shake, make sure it's at room temperature, and then apply it on just a light coat. Now to paint the smock, I'm going to go with US Olive Drab. It's a bit counterintuitive, it's using US colours, but we're going to go with US Olive Drab, purely because we want to make sure that the smock doesn't blend in with the trousers. Now the trousers for this particular Fallschirmjäger aren't going to be the Luftwaffe blue, because this is a late war guy. It's going to be focusing with my Normandy theme, so they're going to be that here German grey. So we're going to use that German field grey World War II from WWII. I also like to use AK field grey, but it's up to you. WWII and AK, there's really not much difference between the two. So if you've got WWII, which I know the bulk of my viewers probably have, then this is the best paint for the job, obviously. And you can just make out there's a bit more of a grey hue to this paint alongside that US Olive Drab. Now for something slightly different, I thought I'd go with German Camo Medium Brown. Now ordinarily I would paint the webbing straps in black, but I thought black's very dark and sometimes it can hide some of the detail that's in the webbing. I think for 20mm we can go with a brown leather look for the webbing on this particular miniature. You can also paint any of the leather bits of webbing like the pistol holster and stuff in that same colour too. Now for the bread bag, I'm going to be painting that in khaki. I'm also going to be painting the things like the MP40 pouches in khaki as well. You could also paint the helmet in khaki if you wanted to give it that more of a German yellow look to it, like you would see with the Fallschirmjäger in Normandy. They seem to have painted it in that sort of German yellow paint scheme. However, I'm going to go with a brighter colour because khaki is just a little bit darker. Now for the gas mask canister, I'm going to use US dark green. This paint would also be used for the likes of ammo boxes, spare MG 34 or 42 barrels. You get the idea, that sort of equipment. And the brush that I'm using is a size 0 brush. I've got a video on the brushes that I use. It's a Rosemary & Co. Kalinsky Sable Series 33 brush. That's a tongue twister, but that's what it is. And you can see there's a grenade there, then I'm painting the top of the grenade. Now I'm using Middlestone. You could use green ochre as well, or ochre from WWII, but this is Middlestone from AK Interactive. Again, Middlestone from WWII is all the same sort of thing. Very slight differences between the two. Then for the gaiters, which you can barely see, but they are there on this particular model, I'm going to be using Russian uniform World War II. You could paint them in that German field grey colour as well if you'd like to, but I like to just make sure that they're slightly different so they stand out. Now for that water bottle, I'm going to be using English uniform. And you can tell with these paints, if you've watched some of my tutorials at least, they're very common paints throughout my tutorials, and this paint scheme is going to be perfect for 28mm as well as 15mm figures. The paints are definitely interchangeable between the scales. Now for any metallic item, I'm going to be using black grey. So he's got an MP40, I'm going to be painting that in black grey. He's also got that canteen that has a metal looking lid, so I'm going to be painting that in black grey as well. The detail on these figures are absolutely lovely. If you haven't checked out Adler Miniatures, I would really recommend it. Now I mentioned it before, but I thought it best to highlight it. You can see that I'm painting that pistol holster in German Camo Medium Brown. There are a few other items that we need to paint in this colour. One being the helmet straps, and the other one would be the weapon sling. So in this particular case for his MP40, but if you had a Car 98, you know, I mean, you get the gist. I think you can work out where I'm going with that, as well as those straps on that MP40 pouch. And we can see there that I'm hitting that chin strap with that colour. And then for the boots, I'm going to go with black. Now, straight up black ordinarily wouldn't be my first choice. However, I like to heavily dry brush my bases, and in turn I like to dry brush the feet and the lower legs just to give it a bit of that worn look. So that's what we'll do, and that black will just be highlighted using a dry brush. Then null oil and technical medium at a 1:1 ratio for my wash, and it is at a 1:1 ratio, maybe even just a touch more null oil than the technical medium. It's just very it's thin down wash, sorry, it's a very thin down wash, and just stops that black from being so dark. And just make sure you're not letting that wash pool on flat surfaces, because it's going to be a bit more difficult to clean up. And then once you've waited about an hour and you've got that nice dry model, we can go over those colors. And this is the layering aspect of this procedure. So we're going to use US olive drab for that smock. Lots and lots of details in these Adler figures, so painting them is very, very easy to do indeed. You can see that there's various aspects of this smock, especially where his butt is, that we can get some of those details there. I probably should have just said arse, I think it'd be a little better. And then you can see that that colour, it really does stand out against that wash colour. But to highlight that, I'm going to be using US olive drab and German camo beige at a 2:1 ratio. You don't want to go too much German camo beige because it will just look a little bit too unrealistic. We're all about subtle highlights in this channel. So you can see here that I'm picking out those raised areas now, and again I'm using that method that I always talk about. I'm scratching in the detail, which is really gonna make life a lot easier. You're not got a big blob of paint, you've not got a destroyed paintbrush where you're going to be struggling to paint these various bits. If you've got a nice pointy tip, you can just scratch it on. If you make a mistake, you can easily correct it without going, oh no, I've made a huge mistake and I can't correct it. Then German field grey, and we're going to be painting again in a layer. So we're being generous here, leaving that original base colour in the recesses after it's been washed, and then we're going over the rest of it. All about the subtleness, guys. We're just making it nice and subtle, and then the highlight will finish off the areas of detail that we really want to stick out. So for that highlight, we're going to use German field grey and grey green. So we're not using that beige, we're using a grey green at a 2:1 ratio, and you can see that's still quite bright. But now we've gone away, we've got like two greens. So we've got the green layer and the green highlight, opposed to the smock, which was a green and then a beige mixture for the highlight. So you can see there's subtle differences between the two, which is perfect. And also don't forget, on these Adler Fallschirmjager, you can see the uniform underneath the smock, so try and capture those two. Now for the helmet, I'm going to give it a dry brush. You can see I'm just giving it, there's bugger all paint on this dry brush here. I'm just giving it a tap on the top there and along the sides with this middle stone, just to make that top of that helmet look a bit brighter, but it's not going down the sides there. And then to highlight that, I'm going to do the exact same method, just obviously not as much, but I'm going to use middle stone and German camo beige at a 2:1 ratio, and then that helmet's really going to just stick out a lot better. You can add on some green and browns just to give it a bit of camo. I've seen that as well, but for this scale I didn't think that was necessary. Then for the gaiters, we're going to go back over those with Russian uniform World War II. As I said, there's very minimal amounts of those gaiters showing, so it's literally a line here, a line there, and you're pretty much done. But just because you've done that, just take an extra minute just to give it a highlight. I know it might sound a bit silly, but Russian uniform World War II and German camo beige World War II at a 2:1 ratio, you're literally just adding in a very minute line on the very bottom of those gaiters, and you are winning in life if you can do that, because it'll look great. Then the webbing straps, we're using that German camo medium brown. That also goes for like the pistol holster and any other bits of that leather brown that we want to capture. Lots of details in this sling, in this webbing strap as well. So it's worth doing it in this brown. I think the black would have just hidden a lot of that small detail. So with that done, we can then highlight that with German camo medium brown and orange brown at a 1:1 ratio. Don't just go straight to orange brown, it'll be way too bright. It'll just look like an orange strap. If you can mix the two together, it's just going to give that strap a nice subtle highlight, but a highlight that's strong enough to stand out without looking too cartoony or unrealistic. Now with that done, we can move on to the bread bag, and we're going to go with khaki for that one. Again, lots of grooves and such in that bread bag, so it's really easy to put that first layer down and leave that original base colour in the recesses. Now there are other items that need to be painted in this khaki, that is the MP40 pouches and any other items that you've painted in khaki. I believe that's it from the top of my head. So now we can go ahead and give that a highlight, and we're going to use khaki and stone grey at a 2:1 ratio. Again, scratching in that highlight, making sure I'm happy with it, not putting too much on, slowly building it up to the areas I really want to stand out and make the eye be drawn to. And there we go. Now I'm going to focus on those MP40 pouches, and you can see this model's really just starting to come to life now, guys. It's not too much longer now. So for that gas mask canister, we're going to use that US dark green. There's lots of little grooves and lines and stuff that we need to capture here. So I'm just taking my time. Don't want to rush it. Don't want to join two lines. We really want that to look like a gas mask canister, which it will do once we can give it its final highlight. So it's that US dark green with German camo beige World War II at a 2:1 ratio. And this is as simple as it gets in terms of highlights, because it's all just lines that are protruding out. So I'm just capturing the tops of those lines and those bulges. Now I've mentioned it, and we're going to go over it again. I'm using that German camo medium brown for the pistol holster, as well as the bits of the MP40 pouches, the little tabs to get into the pouch in this color. For the pouches, it's literally just a dot, and then repeat the process on the other two. So dot at the top, dot in the middle, dot in the bottom. And then to highlight them, I'm doing the exact same process, but with German camo medium brown and orange brown at a 1:1 ratio. And you can see that I'm just adding in a little dot at the top, little dot in the middle, little dot at the bottom for each strap. And then highlighting that pistol holster, just capturing all those raised areas. Now with that done, we can focus on the metal. So we're using that black grey again, and you can see already before I've even put this down that there's lots of details in that MP40, so it makes painting the highlights just so easy, or the layering and then the highlights, but it makes it so easy. So that dark grey is going to be a bit too dark. We want to give that MP40 a bit of a make it stand out a bit more, so we're going to use black grey and basil grey at a 1:1 ratio. The reason I'm building up to a lighter colour here is just because you don't want to go straight to a silver. I think silvers just look a little bit too cartoony. For guns, I haven't really fired many guns that have been just straight up silver. A lot of them are just like a really dark grey. So that's what I'm doing here. Lots of details in that MP40, as I said, so it makes this part really easy. And then finally we go with basil grey, and that is literally just adding in a line where there's a highlight that needs to be captured. The MP40 pouch is a really good example. There's obviously each outer edge, and then inside there's a couple of lines as well which we can capture and make look really good. Now we're almost at the finish line. We're going to go with English uniform for that water bottle. Just literally just, you could probably put a blob of paint on the tip, put it on, do it on the other side, and then go English uniform and khaki grey at a 1:1 ratio. You might not even need to do the English uniform khaki grey mixture. You could just go khaki grey. But again, what am I all about, guys? I'm all about subtle highlights. And then finally, I'm going to use white grey to create that Luftwaffe eagle on that Fallschirmjager helmet, and then he will be done. And this is just using a very fine tip with some white grey. Add a line slightly going down at like a 15-degree angle. Do the same on the other end, meet them in the middle, and then just add a little tiny ball in the middle to show us that horrible symbol we're not allowed to talk about. And then Bosch, there he is. He's not got flesh, but I've got a 20mm flesh tutorial if you want to see it. And He just looks fantastic. This is a 20mm figure, guys, and he looks great. Looks like a 28mm figure whilst he's spinning around. I'm super chuffed with these. Adler have done a fantastic job with this range. I can't wait to get some more painted. I might revisit the Splinter Guard that I've got. It's been a while. It's definitely been a while. So perhaps I'll revisit that and get another tutorial out on that. But for now, go give Adler some love. He's let go of his 6mm range just to focus on the 20mm range. So definitely go and show him some support if you want to get some of these miniatures. Huge thank you goes out to Adler and the rest of his team for providing me these samples. It was a complete random package I got as well, so it was completely unsurprised, but very welcome indeed. Another thank you goes out to my Patreons and YouTube channel members. You guys are bloody awesome. Special mention goes out to Patrick, Oscar, Colin, Panzer Jim and James for being those Panzer Aces. You guys are bloody brilliant. And for anyone else, can I please ask a huge favour? If you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. My goal for this year is to reach 10,000 subscribers, which will be a massive feat in itself, but I really could do with your help getting there, and it would be an amazing achievement, as I said. I'm going to leave it here, guys. Don't forget to let me know below what 20mm video you'd like to see next, and until then, I will catch you at the next one.